Hello everyone, this is Daini Nashev, and today we're going to talk about the 10 most expensive, truly outrageously expensive paintings ever put up for sale. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Here, I talk about art in an interesting and most importantly honest way. It will really help my channel grow. The button is right here below. Go ahead and click it. Well, let's get started. You've probably heard more than once about some painting being bought for hundreds of millions of dollars at a Christie's or Sotheby's auction. And you look at some of these paintings and can't understand why? This scribble, as they say, costs as much as an airplane wing. But believe me, you'll soon see that this saying is long outdated. Some paintings cost as much as several brand new airplanes, not just a wing. So what's the deal? Why does a piece of canvas with paint cost more than you or me? Even the artists themselves often can't earn that much in their entire lives. The whole secret is that the paintings themselves aren't actually worth such incredible amounts of money. 99% of the value of paintings that are sold for hundreds of millions of dollars is the artist's name, and only 1% or even less is the artistic value of the painting. You might ask, where did I get these numbers from? Watch this video until the end and you'll see that I'm actually even understating it a bit. And let's not forget about showing off. After all, a painting is the most expensive thing you can buy with money. An expensive painting is like a yacht, only better. A yacht is just a luxury and its price matters only to its owner. But works of art are also about prestige and the passion of owning a world-famous historical and cultural treasure. The prestige of the owner of a famous work of art skyrockets. Imagine you're an unknown sheikh and you have more money than you know what to do with. You've already bought everything you could, palaces, yachts, diamonds, and you still have a few $billion left. You simply have nowhere to spend it, so why not use some of it? And ahead of us is an exciting ranking with truly astronomical amounts. As part of this ranking, we'll also find out who among the buyers turns out to be the most generous and the biggest art enthusiast. So number 10 in our ranking, guess what amount we're starting with? 50, 100 million? You'll find out soon. And in 10th place, we have Roy Lichtenstein with the painting Masterpiece created in 1962. This is the only painting in our ranking and the most expensive pop art painting in the world. In 2017, the financial magnate and hedge fund owner Stephen Cohen bought the painting from collector and philanthropist Agnes Gund for as much as $165 million. The cheapest masterpiece in our top 10 starts at a fantastic amount equal to the cost of 1,500 one-bedroom apartments in Moscow. That's 75 five-story buildings, my friends. If you simply put this money in the bank at 5% annual interest, you could get $690,000 or 52 million rubles a month just from the interest. And you could receive it endlessly. How could you trade all that for some painting? Has the buyer gone crazy? But let's take a closer look at the issue. Stephen Cohen's net worth is estimated at $13,165 million. For him, that's just 1.3% of his fortune. It's like you or me spending about 5 months' salary. As you can see, for Cohen, this impressive amount isn't that significant. But not all buyers are that modest. And soon you'll see who the real madman is. The one who will spend the largest part of his fortune on paintings. 9th place. And in 9th place, we have a painting by Amedeo Modigliani, Reclining Nude, painted in 1917-1918. Chinese investor and billionaire Liu Yiqian has been buying up the rarest works at auctions for astronomical sums for many years. And in 2015, he bought Reclining Nude for $174 million. And he immediately paid with his American Express card. Can you imagine? This guy just has $170 million sitting on his card, just in case? At that time, his net worth was estimated at $1.5 billion, modest compared to the previous buyer, right? However, it turns out that Liu Yiqian spent as much as 11.3% of his fortune on the Modigliani. After the purchase, he was left with a mere $1.3 billion. I'm worried he might start starving. But it's hard not to respect him for that. Because being 10 times poorer than Cohen, he spent 10 times more of his fortune on the painting and turned out to be 10 times more generous. 8th place. In 8th place we have Pablo Picasso and his Women of Algiers. The painting is from Picasso's famous Cubist series from 1953 to 1954. While not early Cubism, it remains a Picasso work. In 1997, the painting was bought for $32 million, and by 2015, 18 years later, its value had risen to $180 million. That is exactly the amount that the Deputy Prime Minister of Qatar, Hamad bin Jassim bin Jaber Al Thani, paid without hesitation to Christie's auction house. As you can see, paintings are also an excellent investment. Al Thani's fortune is estimated at $1.6 billion. That is, his situation is very similar to Louis Tien's. But he turned out to be a bit more generous, spending almost 12% of his fortune on it, surpassing the previous participant by zero. A whole 3%. Almost 12% of everything that was acquired without much effort, my friends, but can anyone be even more generous? And up next we have 7th place. It is held by the famous artist with Russian roots, Mark Rothko. His painting is violet, green and red. The painting was created in the style of abstract expressionism in 1951. The buyer is also a Russian, the sole one in our ranking. The chairman of the Monaco Football Club and former Uralkali shareholder Dmitry Rybolovlev acquired this painting in 2014. Rybolovlev paid an insane $186 million for the canvas. Later, he sued the art dealer, claiming that the price of the paintings was inflated. They say his art dealer took advantage of the billionaire's lack of expertise in art and made quite a profit off him. But he didn't get much poorer, because Rybolovlev's fortune is estimated at $6.7 billion. He spent only 2.8% of his fortune on the painting. That's just his 6-month income if he put his billions in Sberbank. But you and I know that this money is kept very far from Russia. Rybolovlev will come up again in our ranking in connection with one extremely questionable story. 6th place. And in 6th place is Gustav Klimt himself and his water serpents, two from 1904-1907. Unfortunately, the exact price of this artwork as well as the buyer is unknown, since it was sold at a closed auction, but various sources claim that the amount was $187 million. Well, and due to the unknown buyer, I wasn't able to assess his generosity. Gustav Klimt closes out our group of 5 outsiders who are pretty close together with a difference of about 5 or 6 million. And it seems a bit unserious, doesn't it? But ahead is the top 5, and this is where things really start to heat up. 5th place. In 5th place, the one and only Jackson Pollock has firmly secured his spot with his painting number 17A from 1948. American billionaire investor Kenneth Griffin bought Pollock's painting from the David Griffin Foundation in 2015 for a record sum. At that time, no one had ever paid more for a painting. To create this painting, the artist spread the canvas on the floor and splattered paint on it. So how much is splattered paint on the floor worth? The guy got a nosebleed and he's asking for 30 grand. Kenneth Griffin paid a staggering $200 million for it. That's an absolutely unbelievable amount. If you put it in Sberbank, with interest you could get as much as $833,000 or 63 million rubles. You could somehow get beyond that, but there's still some intrigue ahead. At the same auction, Griffin bought another painting, which ranks even higher on our list, and paid a truly phenomenal amount for both paintings. Griffin's fortune is estimated at an incredible $27 billion because of Ken's gender. He gave only 0.7% of his fortune, putting him at the bottom of our generosity ranking so far. But that's not his final word yet. 4th place. And in 4th place, we have Paul Gauguin with the painting When Will You Marry? From 1892, Paul Gauguin worked as a stockbroker in Paris. Tired of the dullness and lack of spirit in the city, he made a bold move and went to Tahiti. In the exotic country, Paul found himself and became an artist. The painting depicts his 13-year-old wife with whom he fell madly in love. Here's a life hack for you. If you get tired of working in an office, go to Tahiti and start painting pictures. It's quite possible that soon they will start selling for hundreds of millions of dollars, although that's unlikely. In 2015, the painting was sold to the Museum Authority of Qatar, which is run by the royal family of Qatar, for a phenomenal $300 million. However, it soon turned out that the final price was 90 million less. That is, it dropped the painting itself to 4th place in the ranking with a value of $210 million. Qatar's royal family has an estimated fortune of $10 billion. They spent 2.1% of their fortune on the painting. Quite a stingy family, don't you think? But wait, that's not the only top 10 painting they've acquired, and the top 3 are still ahead. Notice there hasn't been a single old masters painting in our ranking so far. Do you know why? Yes, it's just that such paintings never come up for sale. Museums would never part with such a treasure. And if a painting by an old master appears at an auction, it causes a real sensation, excitement, and a desire to possess it among all the collectors in the world. Rothko, Pollock, and Picasso are just barefoot boys compared to Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci. If such a painting appears for sale, it's the dream of every collector. They are ready to pay any amount of money for it. And one of these paintings awaits us in the top 3, so the top 3 most expensive paintings in the world. And number 3 in our ranking, The Car Players by Paul Cézanne, from 1890 to 1895. And once again, here are our old friends, the family of the Sheikh of Qatar. In 2011, the family of the Emir of Qatar acquired the famous painting by Paul Cézanne for an insane $250 million. Cézanne is one of the 7 great impressionists I talked about in my video about Impressionism. Be sure to check it out, the link will be in the description. In it, you'll find out how it happened and who's to blame for the skyrocketing prices of paintings. And so, the Qatar family spends 2.5% of their fortune on it, and together with the Gauguin they bought earlier, that's a total of 4.6%. A well-earned 3rd place in our ranking. Call it generosity or madness. Well, we're getting closer to the leaders, and up next is 2nd place. And here we have the well-known financial magnate Ken Griffin with his 2nd acquisition of 2015. Remember, he bought Pollock for $200 million, and on the same day, he also bought Willem de Kooning's exchange. According to the artist, this unique masterpiece mirrors the grim reality of the post-war period. And it cost Griffin an unheard of amount. Guess how much $300 million is? How much would the painting in 1st place cost? Remember, the painting in 10th place cost $165 million, but the painting in 2nd place is twice as expensive, $300 million, for an object measuring 97 by 130 centimeters. And this astronomical amount made Griffin only 1.1% poorer, and together with the Pollock, he spent just 1.8% of his fortune. I bet you would easily part with that amount too if you had 27 billion, though I hope you would spend it on something more useful. But enough suspense, who's in 1st place? Are there really madmen willing to pay more for a painting than the price of 2,500 one-bedroom apartments in Moscow? And give up 100 million rubles in bank deposit interest? As you probably already guessed, in 1st place we have that extremely rare case when a painting by an old master appeared at auction, a painting that was considered irretrievably lost. The miraculous resurrection of the painting became a sensation in the art world, and its appearance at the Christie's auction stirred the desire of collectors all over the world. After all, it was the Salvator Mundi by the legendary Leonardo da Vinci, whose paintings never appear for sale. The buyer of the masterpiece wanted to remain anonymous and participated in the bidding by phone. But experts claim that it was none other than Prince Badr bin Abdullah of Saudi Arabia, the world's richest oil country. At that time, his fortune was $18 billion. The painting's sales history began in 1958 when it was sold at an auction in London for only 60 United States dollars. Because it was considered the work of one of Da Vinci's followers, not his own creation. In 2013, the Russian billionaire and collector Dmitry Rybolovlev, whom we already know, bought the painting from the same art dealer for $127.5 million. Some experts still have doubts about the authorship of the painting, but the Christie's auction house insists that the painting is authentic and put it up for auction as the greatest artistic discovery of the 20th century. The bidding started right away at $100 million. The battle for the masterpiece lasted a full 20 minutes. In the end, the painting was acquired for a staggering $450 million, almost $500 million. However, $50 million of that went to Christie's auction house as commission. For that price, I'd call even a urinal a masterpiece, though that actually happened in art history. Subscribe to the channel, I'll tell you about that soon. We can't even imagine what $450 million is like. I'll try again to convert that into something closer and more understandable for us. For example, the net profit of Sberbank in 2020 was about $120 million, and that's before taxes. To earn enough for this painting, the entire Sberbank would have to work hard for a whole 4 years. And if you put that amount into it at 5% per year, the monthly passive income would be almost $2 million or 140 million rubles. With that, you could buy 15 one-bedroom apartments in Moscow every month, one apartment every 2 days. The cost of a brand new Airbus A320 is $101 million. Salvator Mundi is worth more than 4 airliners. You mention a wing, but that's for us. Such numbers seem incomprehensible. But the wallet of the Saudi Arabian sheikh was depleted by only 2.5%. And he ends up only in 4th place in our generosity ranking, sharing it with Griffin. Well, the first place goes to the Deputy Prime Minister of Qatar, who bought Picasso's painting Algerian Women and parted with as much as 12% of his personal fortune for it. If Griffin, with his 20% and $7 billion, were just as generous, we could have seen a work of art for $3 billion. But I'm sure the time when this will happen is not far off. And recently, the savior of the world was once again at the center of a scandal. Art historian Ben Lewis stated that the Louvre has serious doubts about Leonardo da Vinci's authorship. In their opinion, the painting may have been created by one of his students. And Lewis stated that in this case, the value of the painting would decrease. Attention, by 300 times, down to a mere $1.5 million. This is the very proof I promised you at the beginning. Remove the artist's name from the painting, no matter how beautiful it is, and it immediately loses its value. According to the most authoritative institution in the art world, in the value of the Salvator Mundi, the name of the great Leonardo da Vinci accounts for 99.7%. The share of the painting itself and what is depicted on it is a mere 0.3%. And this is the answer to your eternal question, why can a scribble be worth millions? Yes, it's simply because it was painted by someone who already has a name. That's exactly how it works in the art world. If an artist has a name, it doesn't matter what they paint. You know, they say that if the Mona Lisa is ever put up for auction, its price will easily exceed $1 billion. Watch the story of the mysterious theft of the Mona Lisa from the Louvre, which made it a superstar in the art world, in my video. The link will be in the description. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video. All of this will really help my channel grow. Goodbye everyone.